Hey, you guys, I'm Melissa. Thank you so much for watching this, however you're watching them. I hope that these videos are encouraging to you, maybe entertaining, but primarily that they equip you and they encourage you to go and live the life that you are called and created to live. I want um, to help give actual resources and tools um, that equip and like activate you to go and do the things that you're called to. And I'm probably just going to call this a pep talk because, or a heart to heart. I just really want to remind you and encourage you of something that, I don't know, it was probably 2 years ago that Holy Spirit just reminded me and dropped this word in me. And I have kept it through all of these years, but just through the hectic seasons. I don't know what your life looks like. I know that we're all living in this uncertain time and this kind of tumultuous, is that a word? This time of turmoil. um and confusion and fear. I know the world that we're living in, but I don't know what your life specifically looks like. um I know that my life is hectic. It's a very full plate of life. I know that I'm called to a lot of different things, and it can feel really overwhelming at times. And then when you pile on other obligations and responsibilities and situations that this season of life holds for me, and this season of life I'm sure holds for you, it feels like a lot, right? And that's all without the craziness that's going on in our world. But then when you add the craziness that goes on in our world, it feels like a lot and it can be really overwhelming. And I get it. And I'm there with you. But I want to encourage you that there is grace in the things that you are called to do. God has given us grace for the things that he has called us to do. There's a quote, what is it, that like God won't give you more than you can handle. And I mean, that's not actually true. Time and time again in the Bible, he gives people for sure more than they can handle in their own strength. But he gives grace. So you might feel like you can't handle what life is throwing at you right now, or those things that you know that you're called to do. And I want to remind you that it's in his strength that we can do the things that he's called us to do. And there is grace in them, which means there is power and there is an actual like favor over you to walk out and do those things. And what's important when it comes to this is that you need to know those things that he's called you to. You need to know where it is that you have the grace of God in your life, and then go. And grace doesn't mean that it's easy, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to be simple and smooth. Grace means that you have power to do it, and that there's an ability to do it, and that there's a favor of God over that to do it. So I just want to encourage you that if you are feeling overwhelmed and you're wondering, how am I going to do all these things? Or how, right? Like, how do I get the strength to keep going forward when there's so much pressure over here, or there's so much going on in the world, like there's so much distraction, whatever today looks like for you. I want to encourage you that there's grace in the things that God has called you to do. And all that we are responsible for is walking in that grace. Walk forward in it. He will meet you there. His favor is there. His provision is there. right? His ability and his strength is there. We are just called to step and keep stepping into it. So I hope that's helpful. I don't know who this is for, but I hope it's helpful to you. I know when God gave me that word, it was at a time when I was literally questioning. I mean, it was 2 years ago, and I was questioning how I was going to like actually do the things that I felt called to do. Be a mom. At this time, we had one daughter, and I knew we wanted more. Just two, Mom. We just got 2. We're done. But I knew we were called to have more than one child. I knew we were called to homeschool to some capacity. I knew we were called to have business and have ministry and have creative ventures. And it just felt like a lot. And then when you put on the demands of the world and the responsibilities, and it just felt like a lot. And I was at this like crushing moment of, God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to physically be a mom, a good mom, and homeschool, and be a business owner, and be a partner and a spouse? Like, how am I going to do this? It felt like so much. And Holy Spirit just dropped it in me. If I've called you to it, there is grace for you. There is grace. So lean on the grace that God gives you and know that He is strong in your weakness, right? Like He is strong and He will meet you there and He will guide you, and lean on His strength and have the faith to know that His grace will empower you and it will do things. He will do things that you couldn't imagine are possible. The only thing that is being asked of you is to keep walking in your faith and know that He will meet you there and His grace will be there for you. So I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I hope it's encouraging, and I'll see you next time.